I'll make this short and super important video updating you on different stocks that I have in my portfolio, on Sofi, on SPY, on Tesla, Palantir, Nvidia, and more in this video. I'm going to keep it short and sweet just to give you the facts. I respect your time. Nothing about webinars, nothing about courses or anything like that. Let's just jump right in. You don't need to smash nothing or like nothing. Let's talk about Sofi. So Sofi stock has found really good stability, and Sofi stock has been a phenomenal choice for investors. Here's Sofi stock right here, and I've been saying that Sofi is a good opportunity at the $15 level. I think it's still a really good opportunity. If you want to sell some 15 puts for optimal entry, I would do that. I can also see Sofi stock running up to about $18 per share in the next 60 to 90 days. Sofi found the floor at $15 per share, and once it reached below $15, it really didn't last there long. Like 15 per share is an absolute hold for Sofi, and it can't get any lower. It holds stronger at the $15 level than I hold 15 kilograms on my biceps. This stock is now at $17.6 billion in terms of its market cap. I mentioned that this stock was going to go from 16 market cap, 16 billion, to like 32 billion in 12 to 24 months. And so far it's had a really big return up to 17.6. Again, I don't think it's that hard for a stock like Sofi to go from like 16 to like $32 billion in market cap. Like that's not even that much. Even it can go up to 50 billion in the next 2 years because this company is innovating. It's combining technology, payments, banking business into one agile model, and Sofi is challenging the banking structure, which is like super outdated, right? If you think about even selling this stock, you're out of your mind. You have to stop being emotional and making emotional decisions like a 25-year-old college graduate. Instead, be like a 50-year-old CEO like Anthony Noto. Check this out. Anthony Noto has 84,000 followers on Twitter, and this is important because Sofi is gaining some serious social velocity on social media. Anthony Noto seems to be building a personal brand, which is helping Sofi. Look at Elon Musk, personal brand. Tim Cook has more followers than Apple. I mean, it's very clear that building a personal brand is extremely profitable. And that's basically what I expect from CEOs right now if I'm going to invest in the company. Based on my research, Sofi is really set to benefit from falling interest rates, a favorable regulatory environment, tax reforms, which enhance its competitive edge over traditional banks. You already know what I think about the competition for Sofi. Sofi is like an asteroid, and all the other banks are like dinosaurs. They're about to go extinct. When I was working for Goldman Sachs, I was like, bro, can't we like upgrade from Windows 98? It just seems like all the technology is super old. And I'm telling you, hold Sofi. This stock is a money maker. It's a millionaire maker, in fact. Like I'll be buying this bicep over tricep. You already know, it's pretty straightforward, and it's pretty funny at this point. I told you, this is how I'm gonna make money. Sofi, I'm actually doing a couple different strategies: sold put options, covered calls, sell puts, and a lot more. Selling puts right now is the best. You can check out my live put selling video yesterday. I went over multiple examples, and I showed you live trading where I made over $5,000 in like 20 minutes. So I'll have that at the end of this video. I think it's really important for you to understand if you want to actually be safer than buying the stock at 16.81 or whatever. You actually want to buy a stock for cheaper than it's trading at. That's by selling puts. And the 15 sell put is an absolute no-brainer for March. Don't worry about volatility. You signed up to make money. The game that you signed up for includes volatility. Stocks go up, stocks go down. That's fine. Don't be concerned about that. Focus on the future. Like, where is the stock going? Does it have a good future? Because if it has a good future, your only concern should be from point A to point B. Yeah, the road might be a little bit rocky, but if you're not actually selling, it doesn't matter. So relax about the volatility because we're about to go up from here and just make a ton of money. Like, volatility is a good opportunity to jump in, and we have pulled back to really good entry levels. And now you can already see that the stock can't maintain such a low valuation. Sales growth accelerated in the third quarter to 30% year over year, and the non-lending segment has contributed more and more to that growth, which is a really bullish sign. I'm looking at the non-lending segment, but I'm also looking at just dollar cost averaging because the lending segment's also doing good. Both sides of the business are crushing it. And as it grows its platform, Sofi has so much potential. As more members sign up, they're engaging with the products. They're going for cross-sells and upsells, which is making Sofi reach profitability really fast. They reported positive net income for 4 quarters now, and I'm just expecting it to be a given at this point. Net income was $61 million in the third quarter, up from a $267 million loss last year, which is mind-boggling. There's just so much profit in SoFi. Now, I'm going to move forward. I'm not going to fanboy right here. That's what I think. That's my opinion. That's my research. Let's go over SPY now. I'm buying SPY, and I think that the bull story is still alive. Like, take a look at the strong corporate earnings. I was looking at JP Morgan. They experienced a 50% profit in the fourth quarter, and the financials are looking really strong for banks. Not to mention the AI advancement opportunity in 2025, which I've been talking about for like literally every single video, is still intact. Nothing has changed. Coinbase reported fourth quarter earnings of $4.68 per share, with revenue surging 138% to $2.27 billion. So crypto is super strong, AI is super strong, and look, I think innovation is driving the market, and it will easily go up another 20% in 2025. Productivity growth is very big right now, with AI helping knowledge workers. Knowledge workers are key essentials to our economy because they are driving the GDP, okay? When we have engineers being more productive, that is like the most important thing. Doctors, healthcare workers, etc., engineers, right? That's super important. So I'm very bullish on SPY, QQQ in the market overall. I think it's a good opportunity to dollar cost average and purchase some more. I mean, look, my portfolio is at an all-time high. If I go back to the 1 month return, I'm up $319,000 or 7.78%. This is exactly what I'm doing for the students in my Discord community. They get to see me trade everything Monday and Wednesday live, and I'm going to plan to continue to scale this portfolio to 8 figures. I think we're going to be able to do that in the next 12 to 24 months. So join the club if you want some big returns. If you want to get to the next level, I'm telling you, check out the first link in the description. Now let's go over Palantir, right? Palantir, I actually have a pretty good sized position on Palantir. There has been some changes that I have recently made. Although Palantir is like one of the biggest bullish stocks, I did decide to sell some covered calls at the $118 level right here for 221 expiration, which is a really short expiration. This is why you need to watch this video, ideally before Tuesday if you're watching right now. Take action this week because this week these options are expiring. As soon as I release these videos, it's important because Tuesday morning I think Palantir is going to have some more volatility, and you want to capture as much income as you can by selling some covered calls. Obviously not to butter my own pancakes or whatever, but I'm being transparent here by actually showing you my history. So I'm going to click into show more right here. You will see that I collected $7,254 on Palantir by selling some covered calls. Covered calls are the way on Palantir, and I specifically decided to go for the 118 strike. Now, why did I go for the 118 strike? Well, to be honest with you, in the short term, I think Palantir is going to peak. I might be wrong, right? I'm not a genie. I can't predict the future, but it just seems hard to believe that Palantir is just going to continue to rise basically like a rocket ship, okay? I think we're going to see some stabilization. Of course, I'm bullish in the long term, but in the short term, I decided to make a bet and collect $7,000 or over $7,000 by selling some covered calls. If these go into the money, I'll update you guys in Discord, and I will end up rolling this position higher. If I roll it higher, most likely you'll see me just roll this position by $3 to $5 up and out, okay? Palantir generates more than half its revenues from government contracts. Obviously, I'm super bullish on that because I pay so much in taxes. Like, you got no idea how much I pay in taxes. And unfortunately, it's going to cyber warfare. It's going to, a whole bunch of places. And, the government's going to be spending that money with Palantir. Government loves to scam, in my opinion. They raise a lot of debt. They use taxpayer money to go to war and, all kinds of nonsense that they spend money on. But listen, it's all about us getting wealthier, building our net worth, our income, and there's nothing I can do about the government, right? I might as well put you guys in the winning position so we can all make money together and just generate income and profit, because the government's going to make money. The government's a business, they don't want us healthy. They want to go to war for money. That's just how it is, all right? So we might as well make money together. And look, I don't like what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. I don't like what's happening in the Middle East, all right? I wish there was no war, but hey, listen, just follow where the money flows. Where the money flows is where you can get some of that guacamole for yourself as well. So you want to get rich? Very simple. Buy Palantir and do covered calls, because Palantir has a lot of volatility. Specifically, Palantir's options are extremely lucrative. I was waiting for a very long time, and I did time this, pretty well by leaving my shares uncovered and letting it ride. But you can see here how the open interest is pretty high, but the volume's even higher. The implied volatility here is 59%. That's pretty high. For all you subscribers that made $10,000 and you bought this bicep over tricep, congratulations. thank you for, believing in me, but it's not about me. I'm just grateful to have you guys. So if you're subscribed and I made you money, congratulations. I'm happy for you. That's amazing. I like to see people winning. So let's move on from Palantir. Let's go to Tesla. Now, I want you guys to check this out right now on the chart. So Tesla pulled back a lot. It dipped like, I don't even know. It dipped like a Peregrine Falcon or whatever, right? They dip at like 200 kilometers per hour. This thing went down like an elevator going down fast as heck. It went down to 328. But look, a lot of people were asking me, should I sell? I'm concerned. I said, I understand. We're all losing money. I took a beating on Tesla. I went down a lot in terms of the profit that I made. I was up like almost a mil, okay? And then I gave a lot of it back. I'm still up on the position. I'm deciding to continue to hold. I've been hedging with options as much as I can. And this stock was just way too cheap. You see here it was on the RSI around 30. Now it popped up. And this thing is, Tesla's back in action. Tesla's back in action. I think we can still hit $400 per share near future. 500 looks out of the question now, but you really never know. Tesla's Tesla. Don't trade it, invest. We're investors, not traders, okay? If you're a trader, find a different channel that's gonna promise you 100% win rate, day trade, swing trade, the futures, forex, whatever, okay? I don't do that stuff. We do option trading here. I got 100% of my net worth in options. I don't got real estate. My bank account's empty, okay? I look poor. I look like a homeless man, right? I got everything in options because whatever I talk about, I actually do transparently, and I eat my own cooking here, okay? So, you want some tikka masala? Go ahead. You want some Henry special? Go ahead. We in here. We eating real good. We eating real good because we're investors, not traders. And the market's been bullish, so we've been making that good curry. All right. So I wish I sold Tesla at 460. By hindsight's 2020. I would be eating some Salt Bay, like some steak right now. If I sold it at 460, the salt. But I'm still holding. I'm bullish, and I think we saw Dan Ives. He said that this thing's still the golden goose. He said there's an opportunity in Tesla that's worth $1 trillion. So check out this quick clip. It's like 65 seconds on Dan Ives and what he said about the golden goose. It's like a golden egg.
But you think another trillion in market cap from here?
I mean, Kel, I think the golden goose is autonomous. I think that's worth $1 trillion in terms of valuation. The federal roadmap will now start to get paved. And that's ultimately from a valuation perspective. I think autonomous and robotics is more than the company itself. So I get some of the brand issues and maybe some of the headwinds in Doge and in terms of everything Musk is doing in the Beltway. But this continues to be the bet for the ages in terms of Musk betting on Trump, and that's going to hugely benefit Tesla. And that's why we think there's golden buying opportunity in terms of this sell-off. So
I'm sure that investors in the stock would agree with you. The ones who have been in this, they're passionate, they're committed. Of course, they think, autonomous is the play here. But I still see a lot of frustration on social media about the performance lately. And even a couple of hours ago, Musk was tweeting about how the Boring Company is building a tunnel in Dubai or something. I mean, he has a lot going on. Would they prefer that his focus is more on Tesla?
Yeah, look, I think a few years ago, that would have been the preference. But I think the reality is, even some of the stuff Seaman talked about, everything we're talking about in terms of AI, having that front row seat at the table, in that Trump administration, that's bullish in terms of AI innovation. I think more and more projects, especially that come through and that he's going to drive, I think is going to be very important in the China tariff discussions. And they have a massive innovation line coming out in terms of Optimus, in terms of autonomous, everything we see with Austin in terms of June. So look, haters are going to hate as they always do in Tesla. But I just think this sell-off here, I think it's just a massive buying opportunity given we see a $2 trillion market cap on the horizon.
So you saw what Dan Ives said, and I believe in Tesla. I've been believing in Tesla. I got rich off Tesla. I went from 100K to 700K on Tesla. So I'm going to keep believing in Tesla. And Musk told analysts on the Q4 earnings call that in 2025, Tesla will continue to lay the groundwork for an epic 2026 and a ridiculous 2027 and 2028. We about to make so much money. Just got to be patient. Look, it's not easy. I understand. I'm also not patient. I want to this and that. But look, you got to be patient. We're investors. And I believe that in the next 12 to 24 months, we're going to see Tesla at 500 plus per share. Look, my parents are the same. They bought Tesla in the 400s. I'm telling my parents dollar cost average. They don't want to add more. They're a bit afraid right now. They're waiting for a recovery. So I said, all right, we'll see what happens, guys. But I already told you so in 2020, 2021, 2022. It's like every single year I got to tell my parents the same thing. Dollar cost average and buy more. And I look like a moron when the stock goes down, and then I look like a genius when the stock goes up. So, in the comment section, people are like, hey, Henry's an idiot when the stock goes down, and then when the stock goes up, I'm a genius. I'm neither, guys. I'm neither a genius nor an idiot. I'm just a guy with lots of experience, and I'm telling you how to make money. That's it. Transparently telling you. I think based on artificial intelligence, fully autonomous vehicles, and the Optimus humanoid robot, I think that product's going to be fire. When it comes out, it's going to come out hard. And according to Elon Musk, he's about to make a lot of money. I think he is. The man's serious, okay? I know he's a little bit out there. His relationship with Trump seems like it's a little bit shaky, but I think Tesla will be fine either way, regardless. So check it out. I got 1,000 shares. I did nothing. I did not a single thing with my shares. 8.9% of my portfolio. I'm up 135K. I was up $250,000 here. But I'm doing well with the options. I'm doing very well. I'm up 11,900. Again, if you guys want to see me hedge my positions, create income, manage my risk, position sizing, and just see me trade live, that's the first link in the description. It's always my coaching program where I can show you what I'm doing live. Now, let's go over the next stock, which is going to be Nvidia. All right, we see my position here with Tesla, 1,000 shares I'm holding. Well, that's not exciting, Henry. I want something exciting. All right, well, let's dial up and get something more exciting. I would say Nvidia's not more exciting, but it's also very exciting to me. Nvidia is even more exciting because it's the leader in the whole entire AI story. So you can see I'm up a 13K with the options. I got a whole lot of them. And let me explain to you. I think that Nvidia is going to have a huge bounce. I have a lot of shares of Nvidia. I got 7 figures in Nvidia. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang says that tech leaders will be spending $2 trillion over the next few years to build AI data center infrastructures. The word infrastructure means that it's the structure, okay? That means other companies can't succeed without Nvidia. It's the structure, the infrastructure. So straight up, this is the most important company in the AI race. If you're short on Nvidia, if you don't have at least, 10% of your money, you're just missing out. All right. I wouldn't be concerned about the valuation. The valuation isn't super cheap. It's 54 price to earnings ratio. The market cap is pretty big, but then again, AI is huge, and this company could be a $5 trillion company, and that's very possible. So Nvidia remains the best way to play the AI infrastructure build out, and it trades at a very attractive valuation. In my opinion, it's fairly valued, but it still has good room for upside. So guys, get excited. When the stock pulled back, many of you panicked, and I just want to say that over the last month, the stock went from 145 down to 117. Some people needed some diapers, but listen, if you want to make lollipop money, then you got to go through some of the tough times. What can I say? Stocks go up, stocks go down. But if you pick a high quality company in the long term, you're going to print, right? So here's what happened when if you bought here, you dollar cost averaged. Now you're up, well over 13%, 15%. How much did it go up in the last week? Last week it went up 6%. Tell me that's not a lot of money. 6% on 100K, 6 G's. Plus, if you're using options, you might be up $10,000 in a week on a 100K account. This remains one of the best companies. The options are super juicy. This is, a great market that we're in. This is one of the biggest opportunities in 2025 to get richer. You better get richer, because if you don't get richer, government's going to print more money. Inflation's it's not as low as people think. It's actually much higher. You see cost of tuition, eggs went up a crazy amount. So we got to get wealthier, guys. Make sure to watch my video yesterday on selling puts live. Those trades are still valid. You can still take a look at those trades. Those are public trades I made on YouTube, collected a good amount of income. Otherwise, I won't make this video longer than it needs to be. I respect your time. So I hope that you have a fantastic week. On Tuesday, let's make that money.